चरण। प्रातः स्मरामि हृदि संस्फुरदात्मतत्त्वं सच्चित्सुखं परमहंसगतिं तुरीयम् यत्स्वप्नजागरसुषुप्तमवैति नित्यं तद्ब्रह्म निष्कलमहं न च भूतसङ्गः तपोभिक्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां मुमुक्षूणामपेक्षोऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते। बोधोऽन्यसाधनेभ्यो हि साक्षान्मोक्षैकसाधनम् पाकस्य वह्निवज्ञानं विना मोक्षो न सिद्ध्यति। We'll chant from verses 38 to 42 of chapter 4. Verse number 38 to 42. न हि ज्ञानेन सदृशं पवित्रमिह विद्यते तत्स्वयं योगसंसिद्धः कालेनात्मनि विन्दति। न हि ज्ञानेन सदृशं पवित्रमिह विद्यते तत्स्वयं योगसंसिद्धः कालेनात्मनि विन्दति। श्रद्धावां लभते ज्ञानं तत्परः संयतेन्द्रियः ज्ञानं लब्ध्वा परां शान्तिम् अचिरेणाधिगच्छति। श्रद्धावां लभते ज्ञानं तत्परः संयतेन्द्रियः ज्ञानं लब्ध्वा परां शान्तिम् अचिरेणाधिगच्छति। अग्न्यश्चाश्रद्दधानश्च संशयात्मा विनश्यति नायं लोकोऽस्ति न परः न सुखं संशयात्मनः। अग्न्यश्चाश्रद्दधानश्च संशयात्मा विनश्यति नायं लोकोऽस्ति न परः न सुखं संशयात्मनः। योगसन्न्यस्तकर्माणं ज्ञानसञ्छिन्नसंशयम् आत्मवन्तं न कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय। योगसंन्यस्तं कर्माणं ज्ञानसञ्छिन्नसंशयम् आत्मवन्तं न कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय। तस्मादज्ञानसम्भूतं हृस्थं ज्ञानासीनात्मनः छित्त्वैनं संशयं योगम् आतिष्ठोत्तिष्ठ भारत। तस्माद्यज्ञानसम्भूतं हृस्थं ज्ञानासीनात्मनः छित्त्वैनं संशयं योगम् आतिष्ठोत्तिष्ठ भारत। Hari Om everyone.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Okay. Are there any questions?
Sir, we have spoken earlier about also this in verse number 35, but just for the benefit of the whole class, I think if you could explain this more. The non-apprehension of the root can create a misapprehension in your mind, and the non-apprehension, the self, has created the misapprehension of a pluralistic world of names and forms.
I'm assuming it's from here.
Yeah.
Okay. The non-apprehension of the self has created the misapprehension of a pluralistic world of names and forms. You are in delusion. The world appearing before you is moha. Okay. So what is the verse? Knowing which you shall not again get deluded, O Pandava, by which you shall see all beings in the self, also in me. So in these verses, he is glorifying knowledge, talking about the possibilities of knowledge, right? The impact knowledge can have on one's journey. And he continues that as we've seen in verse number 36 and 37 as well. He gives the metaphor of knowledge being fire, and just as fire can reduce fuel to ashes, knowledge can reduce ignorance to ashes. So, in that spirit, out here he says, knowledge, knowing which, knowing what? Knowing the knowledge that an enlightened guru gives you once you have the qualities of a qualified student. Knowing that knowledge which you gain after you have qualified yourself, right? Knowing which you shall not again get deluded. Thus, O Pandava. Pandava, you are in a state of delusion. You don't know what to do, what not to do. You don't know what you're here for. You don't know what's your purpose. You don't know what's right, what's wrong, you have no idea. We're in a state of delusion. Now, what is this delusion? This delusion can be seen at several layers, right? It can be seen as a everyday layer of daily activities, not knowing how to choose, right? So when you have knowledge, you'll have the capacity to think, reason, judge, and decide the right course of action. That's a base understanding, that's a base interpretation. You'll not get deluded again. Once you have knowledge, once you have spiritual knowledge, you'll have a deep insight into what to do and what not to do, to be or not to be. So knowing this knowledge, knowing this deep spiritual knowledge, you shall not get deluded again. That's one can say, a relative understanding. There's also an absolute understanding, which he's insinuating, which he's referring to, and which is a question. The absolute understanding is the delusion, the ignorance, the ultimate spiritual ignorance altogether. So when we look at the power of knowledge, knowledge can not only uplift you from your current state of delusion and confusion and give you a steady life, knowledge can also, and in fact that's the true purpose of knowledge, that's the true purpose of the spiritual process, is to wake you up from your ignorance and take you to the reality. Now, what is that ignorance? the ultimate ignorance pronounced by Vedanta, roared by Vedanta, is that this world that you and I are experiencing is but a dream. It's an uncomfortable truth, but the truth it is, and it has been repeated by a galaxy of sages who, through their own meditations, have realized this truth. Right? You are deluded about the nature of this world. You are deluded about the nature of your own being. You have created this identity, this false identity called the ego, with divisions and demarcations from others. You have created a pluralistic world. What is a pluralistic world? A pluralistic world is where there is a plurality, where there is a multiple things, where there is a separation. So you have created, the moment you create boundaries around yourself, you are separating yourself from others. There's immediately a duality. And just like you're separating yourself from others, you're separating two other people as well. So from a duality, it becomes a plurality. And how are you differentiating between people? Name and form. You're looking at some exterior form, some description, some guna, some shape, some color, some nationality, some religion. These are all forms, and you're giving it a name, nama rupa. So you don't know who you are. Tattvamasi, you are that self. But because of this ignorance, the non-apprehension of the self, you have created a misapprehension. Misapprehension means misunderstanding. Because of your non-understanding, because of your ignorance of who you truly are, Tattvamasi, but you don't know it. You think you are this ego, you think you are this individual, you are this separate, finite being with amazing qualities or with terrible qualities. Either you think you are greater than everyone else, or you think you are so meaningless and worse than everyone else. Either way, it's an ego. A superiority complex or an inferiority complex. It's both an ego. But what are you doing in the process? You're creating a separation from others. You're creating a plurality of names and forms. Nama Rupa. This is the ultimate moha. And what knowledge does is it returns you to your true identity. It makes you meet yourself. You rise above this ignorant identity of the ego. When we say, it's really beautiful, if you look at it this way. When we say spirituality reduces your ego, it doesn't actually reduce your ego. It doesn't actually reduce the idea of yourself. It only increases the idea of yourself. You identify with everything. It's not that you're removing something. No, you're making everything part of you. Why should you care for others? Because they are you. They are yours. Why should you care about the world? Because all the world is yours. Not just what is written in your share certificate or your demat account. Whether or not the world recognizes that's your property, it's all yours. So, rising above this limited, restricted form and embracing your true identity as this infinite being, that's the role of spirituality, to expand your own horizons about yourself. And when you do that, when you apprehend the real self, the real you, when you awaken to this universal idea of yourself, when you realize your oneness with all things and beings, and where there is oneness, there is an expansion, right? Oneness means expansion. You expand. Brihat manaha, your mind expands. Brahman, with this apprehension of the true self, you are able to remove this misapprehension, this delusion of a separateness, a plurality. That's why they say in sattvic knowledge, what is sattvic knowledge? One that sees the unity in the diversity, one that sees the oneness in all beings. Chapter 18, he gives a beautiful definition. What is sattvic knowledge? One that sees the unity in the diversity. One that is able to see that common thread through all the beads. All the beads seem to have an individual identity, but they're all joined by the common thread. Hmm? Does that suffice?
Yes, sir. So ahead also, so then in verse number 37, why they have explained like this that the wood serves as a purpose of fuel also, and fire also. And and then they are explaining that like self and vasanas. So what is he trying to make us understand? Verse number 37, last paragraph.
You mean second line?
Yeah. A piece of wood contains both fuel and fire.
Yeah. Look, his conclusion makes gives an idea of what he's trying to explain. He's trying to dig deeper. We are talking about the metaphor of knowledge as fire, right? So fire reduces fuel to ashes, and we've drawn the comparison that fire is knowledge, or fire is the self knowledge, right? Knowledge of self, and fuel is vasanas, right? Now he's drawing a deeper comparison, saying, "Oh, look at the example of wood. It is both fuel and fire. Fire is inherent in wood. The fire actually doesn't come from somewhere else. You rub two pieces of wood and fire is created. Where did that fire come from? One can say it came from friction, it came from a bunch of other factors. Those are all catalysts to bring out the fire that was inherently in the wood. So wood, referring to the individual, you are a log of wood, I am a log of wood. In us exists both fire and fuel. In us exists fuel, which is vasanas, as well as fire, that power to eliminate, exhaust the vasanas, that which reduces the vasanas to ashes. Not only are we bundles of vasanas, but you're also the harbors of self-knowledge. That knowledge of self, it doesn't exist somewhere outside us. It exists at the very core of your being. And when you access it, when you reach out to it, when you are able to go inwards and realize it, that's when this layer of fuel, these bundles of vasanas, these meli chadar, get cleaned away, get cleared out, get reduced to ashes, right? So he's just taking that analogy a little deeper. That's it. Yeah, he's saying you are the wood, you're fuel and fire. Because we think, oh, कहीं और से fire लाना पड़ेगा. Huh? To reduce fuel to ashes, we have to get fire from somewhere else. Problem is, I don't have a guru. Problem is, no one taught me when I was a child. Uh, Problem is actually we are living in such a society ना कि टाइम नहीं मिलता ये सब करने के लिए. Actually आप बोलो तो सुबह से शाम मतलब क्या बोलेंगे?
Absolutely.
You know. So if you have to come up with excuses for why don't you have time for Vedanta, why don't you have time for knowledge, लाना पड़ेगा ना कहीं से. That knowledge is within you. Don't make excuses. You are both fuel and fire. Fire is within you. Absolutely, having a conducive environment, a guru, helps, no doubt about it. It's a catalyst. Without a catalyst, a reaction can rarely take place. But everything required in the reaction is within you. You have to access it. Otherwise, you can be living with the guru. You can be Krishna's son and still be an nincompoop. Yep, I think that's the if I were to relate to Swamiji, I think this is what he was trying to convey by taking the analogy a little deeper. Yes, Rashmiji.
So I have questions from verse 30. Am I allowed to do that?
Verse what?
30. Or should I ask 2, 3? Before he's already asked the questions which I had also marked. So
That's perfect. So why will you not be allowed to do that?
okay. It'll take some time. That's the reason. So there's this question which says that in fact, from verse 29, the offering of one and the kindling of the other establishes another yagna. Inhalation cannot take place unless the has been exhaled. Similarly, one cannot exhale until inhalation takes place. The offering of one and the kindling of the other establishes another yagna. I did not understand this line. The offering of one and the kindling of the other establishes another yagna.
Okay, so look, in verse number 29, he's talking about two yajnas. One is the yajna of breath, wherein he's saying prana is offered and apana is kindled, or vice versa. You offer your exhalation, what is kindled is inhalation. You offer your inhalation, what is automatically kindled is exhalation. So this inhalation, exhalation is also a yajna. Awareness of your breath is also worship. Now he's saying that that's the first yajna described in this verse. The second part of this verse is restraining the courses of prana and apana, some are absorbed in pranayama. So when you offer your control of breath, restraining the courses of prana and apana. Restraining means controlling, regulating. When you regulate, control, when you are in control of your breathing, prana and apana, inhalation and exhalation, what is kindled? It gives rise to another yajna. There's another yajna in there. In inhalation and exhalation, in controlling inhalation and exhalation, pranayam is kindled. And when there is pranayam, there is a strength, there is a vitality in the body. Yep. So this is the 11th yajna, you can say. So when you see this way, then you read the next paragraph. The 11th yajna is that of inner strength. When you regulate your prana and apana, you gain breath control, which provides you with inner strength. So this is, you can call it the yajna of pranayam. First of all, breathing itself is a yajna, and then controlling breathing is also a yajna. It's a pranayam. Excessive or inadequate inhalation of exhalation will not promote breath control. Proper regulation of breath kindles the fire of inner strength, pranayam. Yeah.
So similarly, so this continues actually in the verse 30. In the 12th and final yagna, one invests the inner strength gained from a regulated life back into the world in the form of external activities. So again, what do you mean by external activities? That why? Because that inner strength can also be internal activities.
Yeah. No, he's just completing the cycle. Right? Now, one can say internal activities, absolutely. but you know, no matter how meditative a person is, one is engaging with the world, right? So for a common person, what they do with the strength they gain through, proper course of breathing, a proper course of sleeping, a proper course of functioning, right? When the pranas are taken care of, when your pranas are taken care of, when you have a good digestive system, nervous system, breathing, this, that, you gain strength. What do you do with the strength? You function in the world, right? So when you see, again, this is a beautiful symbolism that you are offering all this sort of accumulated energy as an offering, right? And what comes out is all the activities that you do. So you complete the cycle of yajna. You started with perception, you end with external activity, like a response, right?
So in 31, it's written, these yagnas merely provide ingenious means to convert the routine of life into worship, which you mentioned. Such practice, due to its constancy. What do you mean by constancy?
Due to its consistency, due to its
Constancy. Oh, achha. Sorry. I pronounced it incorrectly, so I understood it incorrectly.
no, constancy means one that is constant. Constant means which is at all times, right? As opposed to being intermittent, as opposed to being occasional. The
That's
idea,
what do you what do you really mean by it? Like, I'm not understanding what do you mean by consistency.
no, a constant awareness of God, a constant awareness of the spiritual process, a constant awareness of yajna will keep you in touch with sort of these spiritual values, or will keep you connected in and through each and every perception, emotion, thought, action in your life. So, as opposed to anything which is intermittent or occasional, right? When your practice is intermittent or occasional, you will slip, you will have, issues. Maybe retrospectively you will realize. But when your practice is constant, you will be peaceful at all times, right? It's a constant awareness which brings you a deep sense of clarity. That's all he means. So if you're able to appreciate this symbolism of the yajna, when you look at the entire flow of life, all the way from your perception to your reaction to your response as a yajna, that's when um, you'll attain a true sense of a deep sense of peace.
And then in verse 33, in Yoga Yagna, one gives away pure feelings and knowledge for the good of humanity. Again, what do you mean by giving away pure feelings?
As opposed to impure feelings.
But what do you mean by giving away your pure feelings?
Offering. You are offering someone your genuine concern. You're offering someone your true joy. Huh? Suppose someone says, my son got into Harvard, but your son only got into, I don't know.
LMB.
Huh?
Arjanya.
Or let's make some US.
No, Xavier's.
Let's make some US comparison. One person got into Harvard, another person got into a less known college.
Berkeley, huh?
Because all of them, anyway. So, are you offering your true sense of joy to the other person, or are you socially expressing your joy while saying, he didn't deserve it? He's so much smarter. But outside, you're offering an emotion. Oh, so happy for you. Wow, he's gonna have such a good time. Is that pure emotion? Don't tell me, ask yourself. So, similarly, how often do you offer pure emotion? Can you truly feel joy for the other? It's a sign of growth. A sign of true growth is when you're able to celebrate others.
So we don't feel joy for other. Is it because we think them other? We don't have oneness.
Yeah, it's a combination of things, right? A, there's no oneness. B, you have too many unfulfilled desires. You yourself are, bottled up. You are a bundle of, you know, regrets or wishes or, you know, unfulfilled things. Which
सर
again,
इसको भी ठीक करने का चीज सर नॉलेज ही है, क्योंकि ये बहुत कॉमन चीज है सर, ये हम लोग सबके अंदर है ये चीज.
you see,
Generally, we are, with a closer person, we are more. I feel our feelings are not so pure. The
because
closest person you are,
they are tested, na? With closer people, they are tested. Every day you have to see their face.
Yes.
You have to see my face once, twice a week, that even remotely. That's why I come and stay with you 10 days, you'll get annoyed with me also. A little irritating he is. The closer the people are, the more they get on your nerves. That's the real test. And that's why nobody's able to get along with their neighbors. Nobody's able to get along with their family members. It's not surprising. When they meet strangers, very friendly. If you can't get along with your immediate surrounding, you can't get along with anyone. It's just a matter of time. The moment strangers become close to you, they'll also become enemies.
Sir,
I don't know who's speaking.
Sir Gaurav, sir.
I
Sir,
get
tell me one thing. Sir, that this is when you're not happy for others or when you're not enjoying their success. So this has just come recently. If you see our history a couple of decades before, I mean, Calcutta only. Whoever you
Because
come from
Gaurav,
Rajasthan, you
I'm just stopping you because our desires have grown up. Earlier, people had few desires for
that's
themselves.
exactly
Let him complete. Let him complete.
that's
Sorry,
exactly
sorry.
that's exactly. Sir, this is something which is it's a generational change, sir. So what has happened in these few decades that such a mass transition of ideas and emotions and things that have come up, sir?
Sir, this is not a new thing. When Manthara filled KK's ears with a little bit of jealousy, immediately her thoughts, her feelings are poisoned. And what did she end up doing? Not a new thing. This is a perennial thing. Yes, it may be more visible. See, the point is today you're in everyone's faces. The world is so connected now. The same people you used to meet once in a couple of weeks, a couple of months, you're seeing them every week, every other day. The world is a lot more connected today. That's why you're seeing it a lot more. But this human weakness of, having a sense of envy, jealousy, envy, jealousy, malice, and pride, all of these things are, the weaknesses of human, the human composition forever. So many religious doctrines are founded on these things, right? To overcome these. So it's not a new thing. It's just maybe it's more visible today, if at all. I'm sure anyone can bring about countless examples from any age. So I don't quite connect with that. Nothing is particularly changed.
उसका जी जगजीत सिंह का गाना है, दुनिया मट्टी का खिलौना है, जो मिल जाए वो मट्टी है, जो खो जाए वो सोना है. दूर दूर की चीजें सुहावनी लगती हैं, तो जो बात है वो मट्टी लगती, क्या है इसमें, क्या है, उब हो जाती है.
Indeed.
Sir, I have something to ask. Sorry to interrupt. If one starts feeling that others' success is not anyway connected or responsible for your failure or not being successful, would it help in not feeling the enviosity or being jealous or something?
Yeah, these are, I mean, absolutely, it may help in reducing or containing your feeling, okay, of disassociating their success from your envy, but you still won't be able to feel true joy for them. You'll always be wallowing, but I am not there. I am not at
Okay.
at some, in some corner of your mind. The
But
pure,
if we start with that thought and if we try to inculcate it, it will
yeah, but
help, right?
see, absolutely, you can try all those things and you can start there, but I'm giving you a permanent fix,
Right, right.
right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Take the best of the best. So yes, it'll have a temporary sort of, but what does it mean to have pure emotion for the other? When, see, the point is, because of our egos, we tend to personalize everything, or in any situation we try to bring ourselves into it, even if we may not verbalize it. But मन ही मन हम सोचते हैं, but मेरा तो ऐसे नहीं है.
Correct. तो कहीं ना कहीं तो आ ही जाता है वो थॉट. Correct.
And you can't blame anyone else for it. You're the cause of your own suffering.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Liberate yourself, free yourself from these unnecessary thoughts. That's why I said the ability to feel pure emotion for the other. And as Yashoji was saying, yes, knowledge is the antidote for all of it. What is knowledge? Knowledge is not verse number 33 of chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita. No. Knowledge is a sum total of all of this. When this instills in you an attitude of gratitude, an awareness of the mystery, a curiosity for the unknown, a feeling of oneness, all of these together, right? All of these are a cumulative effect of knowledge. When all of these sort of arise in you, automatically you'll be able to feel one with the other. Automatically, you won't bring yourself into another situation. You won't feel the need to compare, or you won't feel the need to personalize, or you won't feel the need to bring yourself in another situation. You'll be able to feel purely what they are feeling.
Yeah, but why this knowledge slips away so fast? We learned 12th ka table in class 2, or maybe class 3, I don't remember, but we still remember that. But why this knowledge slips away so fast?
Because you have greasy hands. You have greasy hands.
नहीं सर कोई भी हम बचपन नहीं अगर now also if I learn something about a technical analysis in stock market I learned 4 years back, so I have that knowledge very well, but this knowledge, why at the right time it slips away when it is required? Later on we regret, अरे ये तो ऐसे पढ़े थे या तो ऐसा बोला था, but at that time that knowledge should come into play ना.
But once you truly gain something, you don't lose it. Once you truly gain knowledge, you don't lose it. If it's slipping away, मतलब आपने पकड़ा ही था थोड़े, मतलब half baked था आपका knowledge. जो समझा था वो आधा समझा था, और उस समझ में जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना, हाँ समझ गए. I know exactly what you're saying. So if you tend to have that feeling कि एक बार कुछ सुन लिया, हाँ समझ गए, मतलब ठीक है, समझे होंगे एक लेवल पे, बट वो समझना भी काफ़ी सुपरफिशियल हुआ होगा. वो हो सकता है. See, of course, this knowledge is not easy to grasp, and so we're not blaming another person, or we're not criticizing another person. But yes, you require pile driving of this knowledge, like a drill,
So probably, sir, we are more enchanted by the things around the world rather than enchanted by the knowledge of this knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's a common thing. I mean, yeah, absolutely, you're right. But I'm trying to diagnose what could be the actual cause, why it actually slips. Because yes, genuinely you require pile driving, otherwise ये चिपकता नहीं है, right? बट एक बार चिपक जाए तो निकलता नहीं। ओके, तो अगर निकल रहा है मतलब चिपका ही नहीं था। और क्यों नहीं चिपका था? बिकॉज ह्यूमन टेंडेंसी, थोड़ा सा समझ लिए तो दूसरों को बतियाने के लिए हम उतावले हो जाते हैं। हाँ, हम तो समझ गए, अब उसको समझाते हैं। हाँ, अरे खुद तो समझो, राइट? एंड द ह्यूमन टेंडेंसी दैट व्हेन वी अंडरस्टैंड समथिंग एनालिटिकली ना, when we understand something analytically, we think we've got it. यदि मन्यसे सुवेदेति नो न वेदेति वेदच। If you think you've understood, you've not understood anything.
उत्सव जी, इसकी
Can I-
एक टिप्पणी ऐसे भी ले सकते हैं।
एक सेकंड,
जैसे आप कुछ खाना खाते हैं,
एक सेकंड ओम जी। So Swamiji used to say, "Shut up." Shut up. Listen. If you have the desire to teach this knowledge, if you have the desire to share this knowledge, if you have the desire to tell others something, this is his suggestion to us. Shut up. How do we change the world, Swamiji? Shut up. One would say, what a Swami this is. Doesn't want to change anything. But if you get his message, internalize it first. Stay with it. Have you had the Shraddha to actually... Has it changed you as a person? And not in your few superficial habits. ठीक है, first thing it does is maybe change a couple of habits of yours. हम तो पहले ऐसे करते थे, अब ऐसे नहीं करते उतना. Yes, no doubt. But at a deeper level, it changes the way you look at the world. It changes your natural predisposition, जैसे बोलते हैं. Natural reaction, natural approach, natural relation with the world. That's a deeper impact of this knowledge. That's how you know this knowledge is actually sinking in. उसमें समय लगता है. But अगर उस हद तक हो गया ना, if it actually seeps in that much, it won't go. So अगर ये slip होता है बड़ी easily, मतलब चिपका ही नहीं था पहले से. और क्यों नहीं चिपका था? Because of our tendency to analytically be satisfied. हाँ, अब तो हम समझ गए कर्मा क्या है, तो हम समझ गए कि reincarnation क्या है. Again, this is not a criticism. The nature of this knowledge is only such. Day in, day out, you have to come back to it, and every now and then a new door will open. A new realization will get unlocked. So when Swamiji says shut up, he means it have an attitude of listening. That's what he means. Have an attitude of listening. Shravan. Okay. Verse number. Oh, Rituji, yes, you also have a question.
Yes, sir. Just one thing, sir. Just wanted to sort of this discussion that just happened about why does the knowledge slip away? So I was, is it all right to understand that, sir, more than this is not a knowledge which can be equated with that of a, let's say, a mathematical formula or a table or something. I think this would perhaps you are practicing it. It's not only the gyan element that I guess Bhagavad Gita or Shri Krishna had explained, but it was more with what you're doing, your karma and your. Uh, I mean, it's more about what you do, आपका कर्म योग और आप जो कर रहे हैं, फिर उसका आपको the taste that you get of it, which sort of liberates you from this element of jealousy and everything. So once you're happy with it, with your own self, because of what you're doing, once you get the taste of that happiness, then I guess your the knowledge gets integrated and doesn't slip away, is what I was just wanting to share and understand, sir.
Yeah, no doubt about it. When through your experiences you get a affirmation, one can say, or a confirmation almost, right? Yeah, absolutely. Correct. Okay, we have 4 verses to go in this chapter, and watch me finish it in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Okay, this is not a race, but I think it's a conclusion, right? So I think we can, and I may request another couple of minutes of your time to conclude this. Verse number 39. श्रद्धावां लभते ज्ञानं तत्परसंयतेन्द्रियः ज्ञानं लब्ध्वा परां शान्तिम् अचिरेणाधिगच्छति. He who has Shraddha, who is devoted, who has subdued the senses, attains knowledge. Having attained knowledge, he ere long gains supreme peace. So, again, continuing from verse number 38, where he says that in time, or kalena, the word he used was kalena, in time he finds the self. Means you work on purifying yourself, you work on removing imperfections, you work on self correction, you will attain what you need to attain in time. He gave that sort of assurance in verse number 38, and he continues in that same line, focusing on what work you need to do, right? So, who has subdued the senses means who has regulated and moderated life's activities, who has gained a certain level of introversion, who is not chasing the world like a chicken without a head. Subdued the senses. Through knowledge and experience, one has gained a certain level of withdrawal, disinterest. Just like you are disinterested in the toy world today. So, subdued the senses, one who has attained that level of maturity, who is devoted, sincere, consistent, who has Shraddha. Who is devoted also means one who has a desire to know, who doesn't feel that they know it, right? Devotion implies a sense of surrender. And who has Shraddha, a capacity to go till the very end, a consistency until one attains one's goal, a dedication. So, these qualities will allow you to gain knowledge. And having gained knowledge, ere long, achirena. In the previous verse he used the term kalena. Here he uses the term achirena, ere long. Means before long, in time. Don't be anxious. Am I getting enlightened? Am I getting enlightened? No. You gain supreme peace. In fact, you will become more and more peaceful as you go. You won't feel the lack of anything. So, as you grow spiritually, you gain greater and greater levels of peace. Sure, can you be more peaceful? Yeah. Supreme peace? Yes. You can gain. But even the peace you experience, it's like this, if you come out of poverty, even a little bit of money feels like a lot. 1 lakh a month feels like a lot for someone who was living on 15,000 rupees a month. Can they earn 10 lakhs a month? Sure. Supreme peace. Even your idea of supreme peace will grow with time. What is supreme? For a person earning 1 lakh a month, 10 lakhs is supreme peace. What is supreme peace? It's worth asking. The ultimate. So, ere long, it's a matter of time. You work on these virtues, you work on these qualities, you embody these qualities, and you have a spirit of learning and inquiry, listening. He's reassuring Arjuna. Don't worry, it's a matter of time. This is the right path. Verse number 40. अग्न्यश्चाश्रद्दधानश्च संशयात्मा विनश्यति नायं लोकोऽस्ति न परः न सुखं संशयात्मनः अग्न्यश्चाश्रद्दधानश्च संशयात्मा विनश्यति नायं लोकोऽस्ति न परः न सुखं संशयात्मनः. The ignorant, devoid of Shraddha, the doubting self, is ruined. There is neither this world nor the other, nor happiness for the doubting. So, one who lacks these qualities, one who remains in a level of ignorance, and ignorance has a strange quality. See, it's almost paradoxical. The more you gain knowledge, the more you become aware of your ignorance. The more you become aware of what more you need to learn, the more you become aware of your own limitations. On the contrary, the more ignorant you are, the more knowledgeable you feel you are. The more ignorant you are, the more you think you already know. And that's why you are ignorant. You can't learn something you think you already know. So the ignorant who don't buy the ignorant because they don't want to hear, they don't want to listen. If you lack the spirit of listening, you will remain ignorant. So when he says ignorant, agnya, he means one who doesn't listen. Devoid of Shraddha, without a consistency, without a conviction. See, this word Shraddha is very difficult to translate. You have to feel it. Yes, there is an element of belief in Shraddha, no doubt. That, yes, this is the right path. An element of belief in the divinity, no doubt about it. But more important than just belief is the conviction to reach it, the conviction to pursue it, and the consistency. So to be devoid of Shraddha can mean either lacking consistency or lacking that very faith in divinity also. अरे ये सब भगवान भगवान चीज ना छोड़ो यार, क्या ये सब उम्र है तुम्हारा ये सब बात करने का. After 60, devoid of Shraddha. If someone is devoid of Shraddha, the doubting self, the one who is sanshay, the one who lacks, first of all, is skeptical, is over skeptical. Healthy skepticism is very important. As we said, a spirit of questioning is very important for a student. But one who is dismissive, one who doubts to an extent that they don't want to know, they just want to disprove. ये तो हो ही नहीं सकता. That is what he means by doubting self, sanshayatma. One who is pessimistic. So all these come together and they all feed each other also. These qualities feed each other. If you don't want to learn, you'll remain in a doubting self. If you want to be dismissive, you feel, okay, you got an idea and you want to stick to that. And there are champions at pessimism in this world. We don't have to work very hard to find them. Such people, the Lord says, are ruined. Vinashyati. Nash means destruction. Vinash. Vinash means guaranteed destruction. Even God can't do anything. So what he's only saying is don't fall into these categories. Beware of these tendencies. Don't let them slip into your personality. Don't let a sense of arrogance and ignorance, don't let a sense of pessimism or over skepticism seep into your personality. Neither are we asking you to just blindly believe anything. No. But have that healthy openness, a light-heartedness, a willingness to learn, and a spirit to listen. So they are ruined. For them, there is neither this world nor whatever other world you're talking about. Altogether, there's no happiness for such people. They'll always be bickering. If their bickering gets too much, give yourself a break. Walk out of the room. Don't think too much about their bickering. Verse number 41. Yoga samyasta karmanam jnana sanchinna samshayam atmavantah na karmani nibadhnanti dhananjaya. Yoga sanyasta karmanam jnana sanchinna samshayam atmavantam na karmani nibadhnanti dhananjaya. Verse number 42 as well we'll chant. तस्मादज्ञान संभूतं हृस्तं ज्ञानासीनात्मनः छित्त्वैनं संशयं योगम् आतिष्ठोत्तिष्ठ भारत. तस्मात् उत्तिष्ठ भारत. Therefore, arise, O Bharata. He who has renounced actions by yoga, whose doubts are rent asunder by knowledge, who is poised in the self, actions do not bind him, O Dhananjaya. Therefore, having warned us in verse number 39 and 40 that these are some negative qualities, don't slip into them. Follow the path of yoga. Follow the path of listening and learning. Knowledge will automatically take care of your doubts. Knowledge will automatically illumine all your ignorance. Don't worry. So he who has renounced actions by yoga means brought in the spirit of yoga into his actions. The spirit of renunciation in action. That's what we've been talking about. You don't renounce the action per se. You renounce your sense of egoism in the action. So renouncing actions by yoga means functioning in the spirit of yajna, functioning in the spirit of karma yoga, in the spirit of after you. Renouncing kartritva and bhoktritva. One who is able to go deeper into this process with knowledge and automatically whose doubts are cleared. Such a person is poised in the self. Such a person is truly qualified. Such a person is ready and meditative. Actions do not bind him. Means, on one level, he is free from, or relatively free from the cycle of karma. Whatever actions from the past, whatever vasanas from the past he is bringing, he is seamlessly just executing them, playing his roles to the best of his or her ability, and not accumulating further complications, further vasanas in life. So there's a gradual freedom, there's a gradual liberation from this complex web of karma. So on the one hand, they are simply exhausting and expressing vasanas from the past, and on the other hand, they are not accumulating new vasanas. Why? Because they're functioning in the spirit of yoga. So actions are slowly losing their bind on him or her. And when they achieve the ultimate, when they attain the ultimate, when they truly realize the self, then they are completely liberated. They're completely free from actions. They're completely free from the cycle of karma. O Dhananjaya. This is the victory that you have to gain. This is the state that you have to gain. And he concludes, therefore, tasmat, cut asunder with the sword of knowledge this ignorance born doubt of the self. Arjuna, all this doubt, all this sunshine, all this confusion that you are going through, knowledge is the antidote. It's the sword which will cut asunder all these weeds of ignorance which have taken over this lake of your heart. Establish yourself in yoga. He's giving Arjuna he's shaking him. Come on, stand up now. Uttishtha, arise, O Bharata. Uttishtha Bharata. Beautiful phrase from the Bhagavad Gita. Uttishtha Bharata. You have to lift yourself. I am trying to motivate you so much. It's time. Just get up. Come on. You know how we at the end of a lecture to another person, chalo, bahut ho gaya. Come on, let's do it. That's what he's telling Arjuna. Come on, Uttishta. Arjuna is not yet ready to get up. Arjuna is not yet ready to get up. You know how often in a conversation, अच्छा but एक चीज बोलिए मेरे को before we get up. एक चीज बोलिए, right? A person you're trying to motivate, they still have some looming doubts in their head. So Lord Krishna is saying Uttishta Bharata, but Arjuna says, wait, I have a few more questions. And that's the question with which he'll start chapter 5. So Lord has tried once again to explain to Arjuna, but the Lord is patient because he understands this knowledge needs pile driving. Now if the Lord couldn't explain it at one go, at 5 goes, he's already had 4 chapters. So many ways he has tried, and still Arjuna is not fully getting the message. But the Lord is very patient. So he'll answer Arjuna's question with all patience in chapter 5. And it's a beautiful chapter. He starts with a very pertinent question to you and me. Because after all of this yajna, renunciation, action, karma, it must be a little bit of a khichdi in your head as well. Right? Sometimes he's saying this, sometimes he's saying that. What's he been fully grasped? And that's exactly where Arjuna is at. Arjuna is like, listen, you speak of renunciation and you speak of action. Please now, once and for all, please clarify this for me. Which one is better? What should I do? I'm not fully understanding what you're telling me, oh Lord. So that's his question in chapter number 5, which the Lord will then answer and give us many more nuggets of wisdom. But for now, we'll conclude and we'll start chapter 5 in the next class. As is tradition, when we conclude any chapter, we chant the final mantra and then we also chant the first verse together, indicating that we're not done. We'll come back to this and we'll study it again, because what we have gained perhaps is only a little bit of an understanding. And when we come back to it, we'll go deeper. New doors will open, new realizations will happen. So we must come back to this. Okay. Om Tat Sat Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yogo Nama Chaturtho Dhyayaha. Thus, in the Upanishads of the glorious Bhagavad Gita, the science of the eternal, the scripture of yoga, the dialogue between Shri Krishna and Arjuna, here ends the 4th chapter entitled The Yoga of Renunciation of Action in Wisdom. We'll chant together verse number 1 of chapter 4. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavanahamavayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manurikshvaka Vebravit. Okay, thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you again in the next class where we'll take up chapter number 5.
Fine.
Until then,
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you so much.
Manju.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.